I ask that you would bow your heads for a word of prayer, and then we'll stand for the pledge to the flag. Our Father, we thank you for this day that you've given us, and we thank you for the many opportunities that you have placed in our path with opportunities to serve you. And as we go into our meeting, we pray that you would continue to be with us and guide us and empower us with wisdom on high, that what we do and say and decide will be in benefit of the city of Camilla. In Christ's name I pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll have the city clerk on the roll.
Councilman Campbell.
Here.
Councilwoman Willingham. Here. Councilman Hadley.
Here.
Councilman Lawrence.
Here.
Councilwoman Smith. Present. Councilman Palmer.
Here.
You have received a copy of the minutes from the May meeting. Do we have any additions or corrections or a motion?
Make the motion we accept.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the May minutes. Any other questions? All in favor, raise your right hand, please. Thank you. All right. I believe we have a short report from the administrative committee.
We do, Mr. Mayor. We have one item. Council discussed a resolution for municipal electric authority of Georgia, MEAG, to appoint city manager Bennett Adams as the city's voting delegate and Councilman W.D. Palmer III as the alternate voting delegate for the Municipal Electric Authority of Georgia's election committee. The administrative committee recommends approval of the resolution and authorizes the mayor to sign. This is in the form of a motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to name City Manager Adams as the voting delegate and Councilman Palmer as the alternate voting delegate to the MEAG election. Do we have any comments, conversation, questions? Not, please signify by raising your right hand. Okay, thank you. That passes. Do we have a report from the Public Works Committee?
No.
No report. Okay. City Manager, you have a special guest today.
We have Mr. Brian Ramey here from Georgia Cares. He's come to speak to us about his program.
Thank you.
Welcome to the City Council.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would like to say to the entire council, especially to Ms. Willingham, thank you for the invitation, to Mr. Adams, and to all of you today. I just want to share some information, hopefully that will be very fruitful in starting to get us involved in helping our seniors. I represent the Sewega Council on Aging, and the Sewega Council on Aging has 14 counties that were responsible for helping seniors. Mostly people, when they think of the Sewega Council on Aging, they think about Meals on Wheels. But one of our best kept secrets is the Georgia Cares program. Georgia Cares actually is a program that falls under the Division of Aging Services. And I am one of the 12 representatives of Georgia Cares. I'm also here with my assistant, Ms. Felicia Weaver. And Felicia will be in charge of the Mitchell County area. So just wanted you guys to see her and get familiar with her face. Recently, we had a training with some volunteers, and we were feeling very, very optimistic and powerful about the information that we shared. But one of the reasons why we had that training is because Mitchell County, as you may not know, is third in the state in the number of fraud, waste, and abuse reports that have come through our office. Third in the state. What that means simply is that there's a lot of fraud going on in this community. When I say fraud, I'm talking about the things that you and I would say that would be beneath us as business people, things that would say to us that people are being taken advantage of, whether they're disabled persons, whether they're seniors, And we stand as the vanguard to raise awareness, to raise the alarm in the community, to let people know that this is going on. And one of the things I want to draw to your attention is a pamphlet that is in your packet, in the plastic packet. Just briefly, I want to share with you some information about this. And we will hope that you would take the liberty to peruse all of the information. But we have a mantra that we're concerned about with this particular pamphlet, and you'll see it across the top. It says, protect, detect, and report. And when we talk to seniors all over the 14-county area, we want them to be aware, number one, that fraud can happen and does happen on a daily basis. It can be as simple as someone calling you and suggesting to you that you need to change your plan. And it's not necessary for you to change it. But because of the pressure that you feel from that call, you question yourself, you question your choices. So those things happen. I had an experience, and I want to share this with you, and this will highlight what we're concerned about, is that we had a lady who I spoke to in Moultrie, Georgia. After we finished our presentation, she came up to me and she was kind of very shy about the situation. She said this. She said that she was sitting in the emergency room of a hospital. She had taken a friend there that had some chest pains. She was sitting there waiting on her friend to be seen by the doctor. During the time while she was there was a person that came to her, approached her, as if they were actually associated with the hospital. They said, would you like to complete a quick survey? Well, she didn't think anything of it. She said, yes, I would love to participate while I'm waiting. Well, at the end of that survey, this person was able to retrieve her Medicare ID number. He was able to get her name. He was able to get her address, phone number, her social security number, and to top it off, she had to sign to say that she completed the survey. And needless to say, this person wasn't affiliated with the hospital at all. It can happen anywhere. It can happen with anyone. And what I want to do is I ask this council to give us the opportunity, whether it be through events that the city sponsors or whether it be through activities of a department of this great city, but we want to work in partnership so that we can raise this awareness, raise the awareness among our seniors and also those with disabilities, because by and large, out of all the reports that we received, 172 of them to be exact, all 90% of those reports were reported by people who were disabled, okay? People who were sold items that they didn't necessarily need. People who signed on to something, services that they didn't necessarily need to have. So it is going on in this community. It is prevalent in this community, but don't think that you're isolated, because if you spread it out across the entire 14-county area, you'll see that this is something that really is an epidemic, okay? So we really want you to help us. We need your ideas. We need your energy. We need your support. And we need to do it as quickly as we can to reach a lot of people, because in August and September is when this all circles back around. Whenever we have open enrollment, that's usually when the most of our cases occur. That's when people come knocking on doors, phone calls, what have you, to try to defraud our seniors and our persons who are disabled. So thank you very much. I want you to look at the packets at your own discretion. If there are any questions, our contact information is in there. Feel free to ask. As Ms. Willingham knows, I've worked with her with regards to training some volunteers. We're available. We will come to you, okay? You will not have to worry about having to come to us. That's what it's all about. And we appreciate this opportunity. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer.
I have a question. Is your contact information in here?
Yes, sir. It should be on there's a green leaflet. Yes.
Okay.
And we have a flyer in there, and I'm glad that you mentioned about that, because we do have an opportunity this week. Mitchell Baker High School is hosting a training of our volunteers this week in the Media Center. So we're trying to raise awareness to get people involved in that. The green brochure that says Georgia Cares, that has the peach on it, That has an 800 number at the bottom of it. That tells you everything about what we do. And you can call that number. It will not ring to Atlanta. It will not ring to Washington, D.C. It rings right up the road to Albany, Georgia, to our office. So we're here to help you, okay? And we are accessible.
Have you contacted any of the civic clubs? I know that's where Jamie's headed.
Okay, all right. Well, we have been contacted by, I think we had a group that contacted us last week that will be making a presentation to. We've had our first meaningful presentation to the Neighborhood Service Center. We had about 40 participants in that activity, which was great. As I mentioned, we were at Union Baptist about a month ago doing training with some of the volunteers there. So we're open to any organization, church, civic group, fraternity, sorority, whatever organization that will be willing to allow us to come and work with them.
Now, are you thinking, as far as the fraud goes, is this being perpetrated by people from outside the county, own county residents, or is it someone in the county?
Unfortunately, we have great proving ground here in Southwest Georgia because we have so many rural counties and a lot of resources are spread out. That a lot of our outside offenders are coming into Georgia from Florida, from Alabama, from other places around the United States. And they're finding that people who are less educated, who are less well-read, will be more susceptible to some of these con games, some of these schemes and this fraud that's going on. So yes, to answer your question, it is coming from outside of this county.
So what days will you be at festival?
We'll be there on Thursday from 1 to 4 p.m. And the training will be online training. The Division of Agent Services sponsors that training. It is a training that is free to anyone who wants to attend. But we're looking for great volunteers and we're looking to energize this community because we really cannot afford to have as many cases that have come before us in 2011 come before us in 2012.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yes.
But don't you emphasize that Medicare do not call you on the phone?
Oh, yes.
Because that's where a lot of them, they get phone calls.
That's right.
And they come into their house. So maybe
Right.
if you would emphasize that,
Right.
and once they get in a plan, please
Right.
don't let people take them out. Because
You're exactly right.
what they affect, because you're on TV, so it would be nice if you.
Well, it's exactly right, and I cannot emphasize that enough. We are the representatives of Medicare, okay? Medicare does not do its business by coming to your doorstep, does not knock on your door, does not call you on the phone. Mostly Medicare, anyone who's dealing with Medicare, usually you receive your information by mail, okay? And if you receive it any other way, it's just simply not Medicare's way of doing things. So that's the first red flag if you see or hear about that type of stuff going on. Medicare will not authorize any of its agents, contractees, that are insurance agencies that are contracted under the state of Georgia, under Medicare, to come to your door without first having had an appointment, a phone-based appointment, not just someone sticking a card in your door and saying, we'll be by later. No, that's not an appointment, okay? So Medicare does not operate like that, and we need to kind of raise the understanding among seniors that this is not how Medicare does business. And not even the same with Medicaid, because we also work with Medicaid fraud as well. Medicaid does not do business that way. Of course, Medicaid also sends its letters out to people through the mail. So anything that is being perpetrated by way of people calling or knocking on your door without any notice, then that is an avenue where you can determine that that's fraud taking place. It's at least it's illegal for them to do.
Does Medicaid, do you have like a list of agencies that Medicaid deal with in this training?
Yes, we have, that's right. We have 37 official companies that Medicare is contracted with in the state of Georgia. Nobody outside of those 37 companies are able to do business with Medicare beneficiaries, okay? So again, we have a lot of this outside companies coming in. We had a situation where people were coming in selling these prescription cards, and they were representing an organization that was affiliated with Medicare, but they were not actually contracted to do that particular type of work. So that's going on. You have these third parties that are also participating in this type of fraud.
One last question I have, you talking about volunteer training. What will a volunteer do?
Okay, wonderful, great question. What we want our volunteers to do, number one, is to be a repository of information. We want you to be able to be well-versed in what Medicare is all about. We feel that if we train you correctly, then whoever comes to you, it could be a neighbor, church member, whomever, if they come to you, then you will be able to adequately explain to them what Medicare does and what Medicare does not do. If that is enough, then we can really make a huge difference in trying to avoid a lot of this victimization that's going on in the community. So our big problem with recruitment of volunteers is that the harvest is ripe, but the laborers are few. So we're hoping that, I'm a preacher, so I'll say this. We're hoping that the Lord will send more laborers into the vineyard, because we need more volunteers to come. And like I said, the training is free and the information is free, so we can deploy you out there so that if nothing else, if people need help, they can come to you, Mayor. If anybody needs information, they can come to Ms. Whittingham. They can come to Councilwoman Smith. So anybody else that needs the attention or needs the information, they're right here and they're trained right here locally.
Can we get this on our scroll on the TV? Can we, with this meeting?
About the meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll do that.
Thursday, what's that time again?
Thursday from 1 to 4 o'clock p.m.
You said there was a flyer in the package?
Yes, there's a flyer in the packet. I want to allude to that as well. She has it there. If you will hold that up, Ms. Whittingham, the second one, second page. That's an event that we are hosting. She has it right there, the purple top. Okay, yes. That's in your packet. We are hosting an event, and it is a 2-day event. It's Georgia and Florida are participating in this event, so you have Division of Aging Services for Georgia and Florida. And we're hosting the event in Cairo, Georgia. It's going to be at the Cairo High School Auditorium. And it is going to be what we call a Senior Medicare Patrol event. This is an event dedicated to helping raise awareness about fraud, waste, and abuse in the system, okay? And trying to impact these 4 counties, Mitchell County, Thomas County, Decatur County, and Grady County. So we really want your support with that as well. If you have church groups that would like to attend, we would love to make accommodations. We provide food and whatever accommodations we can for them to attend. But we would love to have your support in that as well.
Okay. Well, we thank you. I know that the fraud is an issue not only with the state and the federal government from misuse of funds, but it's also a big problem with our citizens.
Yes, it is.
It's costing them money as well.
Yes, it is. Yes, sir.
We thank you for coming
Thank you.
and
Thank you.
informing us, and we'll get the advertising out as best we can.
Okay.
And hope you have a good
Thank you.
crop.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, sir. Let's see. City Attorney. Do you have any reports?
You know that RDC is expected to sign off on the pre-haul contract. Tommy's working with that, and working on the transfer of the old high school back to the school board. Those are both in progress, but are not complete.
Okay, all right, very good. We discussed those in the last work session, I believe. City Manager, you have a report.
Just a couple of things. Our citizen satisfaction survey will be mailed tomorrow afternoon. Bell State University is mailing it. I want to remind our citizens watching the city council meeting that survey will go to approximately 400 households, 20% of our community randomly sampled. The The survey's gonna take about 5 minutes to complete. It's a broad survey asking questions about customer service, public safety, city utilities, public works, and communications, city communications, and it just asks your overall perception of the city. If you get an envelope from Valdosta State University, open it up, fill this out, send it back. The city council wants to know what you think about the city council and our department heads are going to use this information to plan future activities in the different departments and future budgets in response to the information we receive. I think each of the council members have a flyer in your packet. This Camilla Woodyard, what I'm calling phase 2. They're going to be starting that project again. There's equipment over there now. I think they probably would have started moving dirt today if they had not received the rain we did. They were trying to get their erosion sedimentation control areas taken care of before they started the project. But this is a flyer that will be distributed to all the neighbors, neighboring homes in the area. And one of the things it says that they won't be working after 6 p.m. in the evening, and it's the EPA is doing this, so they'll keep doing what they're supposed to as far as minimizing dust and noise and that type of thing. And we had several preliminary meetings with them, and I'm happy to say that they are using some local contractors for the site work. So that's good. That it's a good job, and it's something that those funds will be staying in the community. And I commend them for doing that. They did ask for that information, and were able to give it to them. I want to remind everybody else, another thing I'd like to remind everyone watching and the members of the council here is our annual 4th of July fireworks display is coming up. So 4th of July is on Wednesday this year, so people probably won't be traveling like they might have in the past, and that's a good way to end the holiday by coming out and watching the fireworks display.
And that will be what? I know it's dark 30, but you figure on
probably
9.
around 9.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait till it gets, like you said, dark 30, but approximately 9 o'clock. That's really all I have.
Do you have anything you want to update the council on as far as airport or Walmart construction?
Well, the Walmart construction project is moving along quite well. Anybody that's ridden by there, and they're actually going to start moving dirt off the site tomorrow. We've been able to work something out. We're going to receive some of that material at some sites that the city owns, just to sort of level the sites up, and it's helping them and helping us at the same time. They're still on schedule. They're planning on starting to build the walls probably in another 2 or 3 weeks. The company that's doing this work, the general contractor, build their facilities all over the United States, and you can tell this is not their first project. The T-Hangar project, the hangar is almost complete. It's a very good looking building. If you go out to the airport, you can see it'll be the first structure you come to. The paving hasn't started yet, but they're waiting for that construction to be over. I mentioned this in the work session, but I'll go ahead and mention this as well. We had the Public Service Commission inspect our gas department a couple of weeks ago, and we got a very good mark on that. I was proud to receive that grade from Public Service Commission, and the DOT airport inspection folks were here today, or I'm sorry, not today, but last week, and I got a letter today about their inspection. They said our airport is well run and the glide slopes have been maintained, and basically a very good report from them, which is always good as opposed to getting the other kind of letter.
Yeah. Very good. I don't know if you all got an email or not, but I got an email this past week saying that the District 10 officers that have been recommended have been elected. So Danny, you are now officially the second vice president of our district and moving up the chain.
Gradually.
Ms. Annette Mormon will be the president, Ms. Dorothy Hubbard will be the first vice president, and Roy Campbell from Thomasville will be the third vice president. And by way of announcements, I will wish happy birthday to Ms. Vivian Smith. Her birthday is tomorrow, and we hope you have a blessed day and many returns. Do we have any announcements or comments from our audience?
Yes. My name is Gwyneth Thomas, and I'm here because I'm representing Greater House of Worship. And I don't know whether you all mentioned it in the last meeting that you had, that we were supposed to come back within 6 months to give a report on where we were as far as moving on, getting another church or whatever. But right now, we're in the process of dealing with Mr. Donnie Humphrey over at the Destiny Center. Their church is up for sale. And we're kind of like negotiating with him and going through and investigating some things. And hopefully, in the very, very near future, we will be able to come to an agreement where we can purchase that church for him. Because I think they're getting ready to build out on 37 here. They got about 41 acres of land, and they're ready to start building. So that's where we stand right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. That's a good report.
Thank you.
Sounds like you're moving right along.
We trying. We're trying.
Well, we appreciate you coming and informing us.
Okay, and thank you very much.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you
6
about
months
that.
over there. I mean, that's why she came, because being you, I'd sent her to the bank, but she, that's.
I think we're gonna make a motion.
All right, let's, is 6 months extension?
I think that would be more than enough. By the end of this year, we should have settled everything.
Okay. Do I hear a motion then to extend the time frame to 6 months for Greater House of Worship to stay where they are in anticipation of a future move?
Right.
Do I hear a motion?
Second, I thought you made.
No, I don't make a motion.
Okay.
Make a motion that,
You were acting like.
I make a motion that we extend Greater House of Worship 6 months.
Okay.
Okay, we'll second that.
All right. Motion and a second to extend them, Greater House of Worship, 6 months, stay where they are. Any other comment, questions? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, like, and so passes. And we thank you. Thank you for your report.
Thank you.
Make sure you come back now in 6 months or sooner and tell us what's going on.
Okay, I sure will.
Anybody have anything else?
Dick, I put you on the spot, but you want to discuss any about the homeless shelter? Dick, y'all got a board of directors, outstanding board of directors. After we've done a couple of committees together, and it's moving on. And you want to say anything about that?
Mitchell County House of Hope is doing business with Open Door Church of Praise. We're in the process of getting a homeless shelter started here in Camilla, in Mitchell County, Camilla area. We're in the process of looking for a building at this point right now. We have looked at several places and we're still talking and just trying to get a building to house everyone in. But the shelter will be consistent like a homeless shelter, thrift center. We also have a parent, what we would call a parent university. We will be actually teaching the parents how to be parents. We also will have a counseling there for them. And we're also trying to make sure we got a feeding program where we serve meals and everything, and they'll be able to stay overnight. It was up to like a 3-month stay if they need it or longer. We're also looking at job placements. But I mean, we actually have a board of directors now. We have our 501c3, have our business plan going. So our main objective now is the building. That's what we're doing, looking for. So if anybody have a building that they're not using, we would greatly be appreciated.
Okay, all right. Well, that's hopefully someone in the community has that and sees where they can help with this, and we'll get the word out.
Mr. Mayor, I also like to say that I think a lot of people don't realize that we have a homeless problem in Camilla, Mitchell County. And I think when the statistics came out, it was shocking to a whole lot of people that, we actually do have, I think it was like most of it swept up on the rug, but now it's actually coming out. And so what this organization here that we're doing is trying to combat it early. We got a board that directors now. We also have a second board that will come on after the first board goes off. So this is not going to be like a one shot and then it's over. It will be a continuation on and on and on.
Okay. Very good. Thank you for that. Anything else?
Bennett, is there anything you want to update us on the railroad track on 37 in front of Camilla Auto Parts? I had 2 more phone calls about it.
Well, I called, I knew that was gonna go up.
You did.
I thought that might go up tonight.
DOT, he got so much.
I called a fellow with the railroad that came and helped me get that little patch done. And he's not with them anymore. And the way he's been responding may have something to do with it, I don't know.
All right.
But I've talked to someone else, and I haven't given up on getting that repaired.
You're still working on it. Look at the camera and tell everybody you're still working on it.
I'm still working on it.
Thank you.
I got one question for the city manager. I got phone calls for the last couple of days, and we're dealing with the phone system. Is there a problem with CNS right now with the phone? Because what happened is, and I'm also getting the same problem. You can talk for about five minutes on the phone and just cuts off on it.
I did not.
And they have called CNS, and so I was just thinking maybe there's something in the line that we had customers know.
We had some issues that were Thomasville oriented.
Okay.
We are working on them. We've had a few weather-related issues, but we're aware of the problems and we're trying to correct them.
Okay, thank you. Get out with you.
And they can call me at 2222 if they have a problem.
Thank you.
Please do that. Or call. While we're talking about that, again, we seem to have this problem unfortunately, we have it quite often when we have severe weather come through and there's a loss of power. Last week we had that happen. Unfortunately, part of that was due to an automobile accident taking out a couple of telephone poles. But I had someone call me after our work session. I had gone home and they called me and they said, my lights are out. When are they going to come back on? And I said, well, if you call 336-2209, which is our after hours trouble line. And they said, no, we haven't done that. I said, well, if you will call them. They said, everybody around me has lights but me. So that made me know immediately. They probably just had a small fuse that needed to be reset. So I said, if you'll call that number, they will have your lights back on within an hour. I said, call me back if they don't. Well, they called me back in about 30 minutes and said, my lights are back on. So, I again urge people, if your lights are out, call the city and let us know your lights are out, because we don't know that your lights are out, especially when we have weather-related issues. During the day, normal 8 to 5 hours, call 336-2220, after hours 336-2209. We will try to get your service restored as quickly as possible.
Thank you for bringing that up. Do we have anything else? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion that we adjourn.
Motion to adjourn and a second. All in favor, raise your hand. You are adjourned. Thank you.